The house sat at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac outside Columbus. Pale siding faded by weather. A detached garage with a warped side door. By November 2021, everyone believed it was empty. The owner, Daniel Mercer, had disappeared months earlier after foreclosure proceedings began against the property. County records showed the bank repossessed a home in March, leaving utilities active only at minimal maintenance levels until resale. No one was supposed to be living there. No cars appeared in the driveway. The windows stayed dark. Then the power company noticed something strange. Electricity consumption at the house had nearly tripled. Analysts reviewing smart meter reports initially assumed a technical fault. Vacant properties occasionally showed irregular readings after weather changes or reconnection work. But the Mercer house was different because the spikes followed a pattern. Every night between 11:47 p.m. and 4:12 a.m., electricity usage surged. The abandoned house was consuming power like someone was actively living inside it. Lights, heat, appliances. Something inside the home was still running, and whoever was there was careful enough not to be seen. The first official concern appeared in an internal utility report on November 12th. Normally, foreclosed properties consumed only enough electricity to prevent frozen pipes or maintain security systems. The Mercer house exceeded those expectations by nearly 240%. A technician remotely checked the smart meter diagnostics. No hardware faults existed. More importantly, the load signature suggested multiple active devices rather than a single malfunction. Someone was using electricity throughout the night. On November 15th, a field technician arrived to inspect the meter manually. The driveway was empty. Mail overflowed from the box near the curb. The property looked abandoned. But while examining the side of the house, he noticed condensation forming inside one upstairs window despite freezing outdoor temperatures. That usually meant interior heat. While standing beside the electrical panel, he recorded a sudden spike consistent with microwave, portable heater, or appliance switching on inside the home. He submitted a discrepancy report. At that point, no one suspected a major crime. The bank assumed squatters. The utility company suspected unauthorized access. Neither realized someone had been inside for months. Daniel Mercer purchased a home in 2013 during a suburban expansion boom. Public records showed his renovation business collapsed during the economic slowdown of 2020. By early 2021, mortgage payments stopped. Neighbors later described Mercer as increasingly isolated before foreclosure. Then, in February, he vanished, or at least everyone believed he had. A foreclosure inspection in March documented an apparently empty house. Utilities stayed connected temporarily to preserve the property. The bank changed the lock shortly afterward, except small details suggested otherwise. One neighbor occasionally noticed faint basement light after midnight. Another remembered hearing ventilation fans late at night during the summer. But people dismissed those observations because abandoned houses often created strange impressions. On November 18th, contractors performed a full exterior inspection after utility anomalies continued. They found no forced entry. But near the detached garage, investigators noticed fresh mud leading toward overgrown shrubs behind the structure. Hidden beneath stacked plywood sheets, workers discovered a basement access hatch. Building plans showed the hatch had supposedly been sealed years earlier during renovations. Instead, someone had reopened it from the inside. Investigators descended into the basement. Dust-covered shelves and boxes remained untouched. But several details contradicted long-term vacancy. The air felt warm. A portable heater sat plugged into an extension cord. An empty food container rested near a utility sink. Beneath the basement stairs, investigators uncovered concealed sleeping area hidden behind insulation material. Someone had been living inside the house quietly and carefully. Detectives later obtained 6 months of smart meter data and reconstructed the electrical patterns hour by hour. Daytime usage remained almost non-existent, but every night activity surged consistently. Heating cycles, lighting loads, high-energy draws linked to electronic equipment. Doorbell camera footage from neighboring homes captured occasional movement around the property between 1 o'clock and 3 a.m. The same hooded figure repeatedly entered through the side yard carrying bags and supplies. Investigators realized the person was not visiting the property. He was staying there continuously. Detectives eventually secured a warrant for a full forensic examination. Hidden behind the furnace, investigators discovered a concealed workstation containing laptops, burner phones, wireless boosters, and external hard drives. The room operated almost entirely at night, matching the electrical spikes recorded by the utility company. By late November, police focused on the possibility Daniel Mercer himself had never actually left. Thermal drone surveillance detected concentrated heat signatures in the basement during nighttime hours. Then, at 1:43 a.m. on December 2nd, investigators observed movement near the garage. A thin, heavily bearded man disappeared beneath the hidden hatch. It was Daniel Mercer, alive. Officers entered the basement at dawn. Mercer surrendered without resistance. Inside the concealed workstation, forensic analysts uncovered evidence Mercer had been operating online fraud schemes from beneath his own foreclosed home for months. The vacant house provided perfect cover. No visitors. No official residents. Minimal suspicion. Mercer survived by exploiting overlooked structural access points the bank never documented during foreclosure. But the utility data exposed what human observation missed. Every small increase in electricity formed a map of concealed existence. The criminal operation was ultimately uncovered not through surveillance or informants, but through electricity. A routine anomaly report generated automatically by the utility company became the first crack in the illusion because the house looked empty, but the power said otherwise.